to get this ACR shooting over 300 feet a second. So straight out the box are about 240-ish, sometimes a bit higher if you get the Chinese lottery. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be swapping out the stock spring to a 1.25 unequal, or an M100 basically, as you can see here. To do this, we've actually got to shorten this down. We've got to cut it, reheat it, fold the cut over so it actually sits flat on the end here, so the angle of engagement doesn't get thrown off. And we're also doing a metal barrel upgrade, so they come with a pretty average looking plastic tube barrel here, and the T-pieces are a bit iffy out of factory and have a tendency to crack, just like this one here. Didn't take too much to crack that at all. Last thing you want. So you can actually replace the T-piece itself, or a replacement that you can buy. So it's very similar in design, just a little bit stronger. And this is one that I've already done here. You can see I've already got the replacement T-piece on, and we've gone with a alloy barrel that I've cut down the size, so it fits in there perfectly. Just got to make sure to use a bit of 2-part araldite just to seal that barrel onto the T-piece itself, so it doesn't pop out down the road. So to split the cases, it's actually pretty easy on these things here. They're actually held in with pins. So we've got a pin there, and a pin here, and a pin there, and then essentially the whole thing will come apart. So if we slide this off, good out that I've already pulled the pins out. We've now got access to the barrel section. Now we can actually remove the top part off the receiver. So you just want to make sure that you slide them apart like so. And then we've got obviously access to the gearbox. This piece we can just pop aside. So to do this mod, if we're only replacing the spring to get that 300-ish kind of average FPS out of the blaster, you don't have to pull the gearbox out of the ACR body itself, so it can all stay in there. What we're going to do is we're going to access the spring through the back of the gearbox here. So if we fold that open, access to the rear, this slides straight up. I should actually do this first. We've got another pin to pop out. So that pin is located right here. Knock it out. Grab your pliers, pluck that out of there. There we go, that should make it easier. Now we want to slide this, if I can show that on the camera, straight up. But we've got to be careful not to strip the wires in here. It's a bit of a design flaw on the ACRs. So as you're doing this, there's a good chance the wires are going to catch and get pinched. Is where working that off. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is there. So you can see it's actually stripped. You can see that on the camera. The 2 wires right here, just pressing up against the back of the gearbox. So it's a really bad design. So what I'll do is I'll reheat shrink that up, because you don't want those 2 contacting when you've got power. They'll obviously short out. And we'll do the modification on the buttstock here, whereas we're going to get the Dremel, and we're literally going to grind a channel straight down the middle here, about halfway down the stock. So when we put that back on, it'll let the cable slide straight up through there without getting caught. So that means taking it apart in the future as well won't cause any damage. Alright, so we'll add that to our little mod list. Now to pull your spring out, quite simply, you've got access on the back of the box here. All we need is a flathead screwdriver. Make sure you do it away from your face. You don't want this letting loose. You push it in, twist it, so it gets out of the keyway. You can see there. Remove the spring. Easy as that. So now what you can see with the stock spring on the left here, the difference in length. I'll get this sharp on the camera a bit better. Okay, so what we need to do is measure out roughly about 16 centimeters on this, cut the coil, and then what we have to do is we have to heat it up and actually get it to sit flat. And you can see how that coil bends over and touches. It's flat on both ends. We have to make sure this spring stays the same, so we'll cut it and fold that down. Alright, I'll go down to the angle grinder and the blowtorch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the spring. Ultimately, that's the spring sitting there. You can see it's sitting a little bit higher, so we're going to flatten it up and then curl it back down. We want this to be a little bit shorter than the stock spring by the time we're finished, because we're actually going to put a little soft pad in between the spring and the plunger, which will make it about the same length as the standard. Okay, this is the fun part. To do this, you'll need a torch. Even a smaller map gas torch or something might do the trick. Doesn't take much heat. You'll need a pair of pliers. And it's quite easy. Heat it up until it goes red. Like that. And grab it and squeeze it down. You can see straight off the mark we're getting it down to where it needs to be. Heat that up again. There we go. So as you can see there, we've squeezed it down so it's almost a flat surface. Same as the bottom. Our lengths. Yeah, that's perfect. You can see it's come up a little bit shorter. That's ideal because we'll stick the pattern there, which will make it about the same length as the stock spring. Another thing to point out is when you're doing this, make sure you don't cut the closer coils down the bottom on the unequal. Always start at the top side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the Dremel and grind that surface there down flat so it's not such a pronounced raised section. Where's my safety glasses? On my head. Okay. And that's it. As you can see there, it's got a flat surface now, so when it sits in the plunger, it's not going to sit on an angle. It'll just shoot straight up and down. That's how you fix your angle of engagement, which will go down inside the cylinder of the gearbox in between the cylinder and the spring itself. So this is just to take a little bit of the impact out as it's going back and forth, and it'll quieten it down a little bit more too. It'll also help to improve the angle of engagement. So what we'll do, now this little pad I've just, nasty as it sounds, I actually pulled this out of an old shoe. So it's the soft pad on the inner sole. Didn't have anything else kicking around, so that'll do. So we'll just trace it out. Using a marker, just so we can get the rough diameter of the spring and the cylinder. So that doesn't have to be perfect. We'll cut it out into a circle. There we go. Little pad.
Alright, it's just gonna grow a little more right in front.
One there.
Sorry?
Pop it down on the inside. Make sure it fits. As you can see there. And we'll push it all the way in. Use a screwdriver. Like that.
Alright, and also do management.
It's now sitting all the way down the bottom. That's perfect. Now we can install the spring. You sound so awkward then. Like Captain Kimmed it. Yes, I'm recording. Just boy. Thank you for throwing things on me. Just into the groove. Yeah, that's awkward. Okay, so it's sitting flush again. There we go. Upgraded springs now installed on the gearbox. Now what we have to do is modify this, grind it down so we've got a channel.